Listen, Lord, as I pray, you are faithful and honest and will answer my prayer. I am your servant. Don't try me in your court because no one is innocent by your standards. My enemies are chasing me and crushing me in the ground. I am in total darkness like someone long dead. I'm giving up all hope and I am numb all over. I remember to think about the many things you did in years gone by. Then I lift my hands in prayer because my soul is a desert, thirsty from water from you. Please, hurry, Lord. Answer my prayer. I feel hopeless. Don't turn away and leave me here to die. Each morning let me learn more about your love because I trust you. I come to you in prayer, asking for your guidance. Please rescue me from my enemies, Lord. I come to you for safety. You are my God. Show me what you need me to do, and let your gentle spirit lead me through the right path. Be true to your name, Lord, and keep my life safe. Use your power to protect me from trouble. I am your servant. Show me how much you love me by destroying my enemies. Amen.
Yo, 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 it's your boy Jane88, along with Carly Bennett, who's putting together the visuals for this YouTube autobiography. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube and all social media platforms. Today's hip-hop documentary is highly requested among the YouTube community. This duo right here is innovative, influential, heartthrobs, trendsetters, pioneers for the city of Atlanta and the youth pursuing hip-hop going forward from the early 1990s to this day. We present to you the autobiography of no other than Kris Kross. Let's get into it. Kris Kelly was born August 1978 and Kris Smith was born January 1979. These two individuals formed Kris Kross. Now, Kris Kelly was originally born in New Jersey, but he relocated to Atlanta in grade school. That's where he met Kris Smith, who was relatively popular in the area since he had an older brother who also attended the school as well. They met in the first grade. It took them a while to click, but once they started getting to know each other, they were best friends, yin and yang. You couldn't find one without the other. High top fades, fresh sneakers and clothes, they would get all the girls. What more can you ask for? Fun fact as well, they also attended school with hip-hop artist Young Dro, who's definitely with T.I. T.I. knew them as well. They're all from the West Side. T.I. knew about them as well. They also went to school with Polo the Don, Rocco, Killer Mike's sister, and Big Gip's sister, and also Corey Diligent, who was a battle rapper. He knew about them, and they were the complete opposite, which I believe to an extent. But yeah, they're from the West Side of Atlanta. So, you know, Jermaine Dupri, he was the writer pretty much. He was telling their story through his rhymes. So the Chris's will go ahead and tell Jermaine Dupri everything they experienced through Atlanta growing up as kids, and Jermaine Dupri will write the rhymes and put the beats together. That's how they came with Totally Crossed Out. And of course, you know, they had to make the hit, so they made it family friendly, but the Chris's told their story and Jermaine Dupri's one who wrote it. They would go to concerts together. The Chris's will go over Jermaine's house early in the morning, watch cartoons, and just be in the studio with Jermaine as he'll pitch them ideas, and they either will agree to it collectively or disagree. The first song they recorded was Little Boys in the Hood. They actually recorded another song previously with Left Eye, because Left Eye was playing a big part in getting Totally Crossed Out idea put together. They actually had a song called The Girl Is Mine or My Girl, but I heard it wasn't that good and they didn't release it. So Little Boys in the Hood was the first song they did, and they actually got signed off of that. Then they recorded Totally Crossed Out and they put out the song Jump. Now, Totally Crossed Out was actually recorded twice. Once in Jermaine Dupri's studio, I think in September, fall of 91. Then they recorded it again in Philadelphia, I think early 92. So they recorded the album twice. Jump took off. Now, the Chris's were still in school when Jump was actually on TV and on the radio. They were still in school, as a matter of fact, but they had to leave school once they were in Living Color. Once that came out, they had to get homeschooled. From there on in, they blew up. They were on the road, getting tutors and everything like that. Sold 5 million copies of Totally Crossed Out. So they were blowing up. They were blowing up, man. They were definitely doing their thing. They were doing tours over the U.S. They had their own video game. They were on a lot of talk shows. They were doing like meet and greets beats and everything like that. So they were definitely living the life. Yo, they even went on tour with Michael Jackson on his European stop in the summer for the Dangerous tour. On tour with Michael Jackson? Yo, who can say that? Who in hip-hop can say they went on tour with Michael Jackson? I don't think there's too many people who can say that, dog. So salute to the Double K's, man. And they were fashion trenders, man. Trendsetters in fashion. Look at me getting tongue-tied because I'm so excited about the video. They were fashion trendsetters. They had the starter wave on deck. The coats, the jerseys. They're even on the Instagram, Mechapolis Instagram, for being trendsetters for the starter wave, because Kris Kross did start the starter wave, and as well as the backwards clothing, which was Lisa Left Eye and Jermaine Dupri's idea. They saw Chris Smith walk inside the crib with this big Jabbar jumper. Jermaine Dupri asked Chris Smith to turn it backwards. Of course, at first Chris Smith said no, and then Jermaine Dupri just, I guess, persuaded him to see the vision. Put it on backwards. They went to the mall. People were in shock. So that's how they came with the totally crossed out idea. So yeah, on the tour, you know what I'm saying? Millions of records, a lot of fans. The totally crossed out party was amazing from what I heard. That's where Method Man and Redman actually met. So look at that. At the party, they put together a legendary duo. So that's dope. As a matter of fact, on this tour, according to Ed Lover, that's where Chris Kelly lost his virginity. So a lot went down on the tour. They got to experience the actual rock star life as a youth. So salute to them. I definitely know they had fun and definitely set records and got the plaques and got the money and endorsements and everything like that as kids. And you know, comes with that, there comes the hate. There were people hating on Kris Kross, of course. It can't be all sugar sweet. The groups hating on them. They had illegal hating on them. Another Bad Creation, and the Youngsters. So I would say this as a Kris Kross fan. In '93, they were kind of on the defensive end. They did make hits, but on this end, they were like kind of responding to all the critics and people who did not like them. You know what I'm saying? Also, Naughty by Nature, Tretch was definitely an advocate. He thinks that Jump was copying off of OPP. I personally can't see the difference, but that's what he said. You know, Jermaine Dupri was saying that Vinny didn't write his rhymes because people were saying that Kris Kross didn't write their first album, but they were like 11, 12 years old. You're gonna have 11, 12 years old write a whole 14 song album? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, come on, dog. But anyway, that's how the whole big ring went about. Illegal drop Head of Gut, We Gets Busy, the Youngsters drop Cruise Pop. This is before Kris Kross started recording The Bomb, because you know, Totally Crossed Out '92, that was their year, man. They were blowing people out the water. What? There wasn't a group or solo act doing what they were doing in that year at all. Nobody was seeing them. Next, you know, '93 comes out, people regroup and drop diss records at them. But you know, the Double K's, they had to step up to the plate and show what they can do. So of course, during the American Music Awards, all eyes on them, Mac Dad drops his verse from Freak to the Funk live at the show, dissing ABC. Got them out of there. They were gone. You dissing a group live? Now, this is a verse, this was not on Totally Crossed Out, so this is a cooked up verse that they had to, he probably did this joint like a week or that day. Spit it live, got them out of there. Then next you know, during the Who's the Man album release party, this is where things could have went left. Tretch told the Youngsters to go ahead and try to fight Kris Kross. At first the Youngsters were not going to do it, but Tretch said, yo, don't worry, man. I got my peoples here, we're going to mash out if anything. So when they tried to punch Chris Smith, security guards moved him out the way. And the funny thing was, the Brat was there, and the Brat wanted to fight the Youngsters for doing that. That would have been crazy in the wrong way, because I don't like to see violence in hip-hop personally. We're all trying to get money, trying to live life, so all this unnecessary violence isn't it. So I'm glad nothing went down. It was just arguing and everything like that, back and forth. So yeah, around this time they recorded The Bomb. Now I think they recorded The Bomb around between May and August is when recording, mixing, and promo happened, because Chris Kelly's voice matured pretty fast. Because as a matter of fact, after Totally Crossed Out released, his voice kind of changed within months to the deeper voice, and Daddy Mac's voice is still childlike. Just remember, Daddy Mac is, I think, like 6 months younger than him. So yeah, so he matured, Chris Kelly matured faster. So just based on that time frame and doing interviews during that time and TV shows and everything like that, I'm gonna say The Bomb was recorded between April and August of 1993. Yeah, the album was released in 1993, August. It had the Brat on there, Super Cat, All Right. There's a song that was supposed to be on there with Snoop Dogg, man, 321. You know what I'm saying? That song is crazy. I think that was like one of the first couple songs that they recorded because they were out in LA a lot. So Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound, they were hanging out with Kross a lot. I think that's when they started smoking that stuff too, smoking weed. It's legal, so I can say, you know what I'm saying? They started smoking weed around then. Reason being is because there's an interview that was online with Daz saying that Kris Kelly actually had an entanglement with Jada Pinkett Smith, saying that he wanted them to stay in the room while he meets them, and he gave them like weed for them to chill out there while he talks to Jada Pinkett. So yeah, they were, I kind of think Snoop and the Dog Pound was the one who started, you know, making them experiment with the greenery. Nothing wrong with that because it's legal, you know what I mean? But anyway, back to The Bomb. The album was released August 1993, 700,000 copies in 2 weeks. They're on a lot of talk shows. There's plenty of videos of them on the late night show. They also did Arsenio Hall as well. So they were everywhere as far as with The Bomb being released. There's pictures of them performing The Bomb as well. Not as many as totally crossed out. We were definitely trying to find it, but there's several pictures of them performing The Bomb. They went overseas for The Bomb as well. Now those videos and pictures are online. There's actually like a 35 minute video of them doing an interview overseas for The Bomb. A lot of people in the comments saying that they looked pretty annoyed and everything like that. I kind of didn't get that vibe. They were being polite, but at certain points you can tell that the Kris's they just wanted to stop the interview, especially towards the end. It's kind of funny, but yeah, you can check it out. But yeah, it's, a lot of things you can see in that video too. Back to my weed point, but I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, during that The Bomb tour, they went to Japan as well. There's a video they did with Disney World in Japan. They came back. They did the Super Bowl event in January, and they shot the Bomb video in '94. During this time as well, Kris Kelly was talking to Chili, allegedly. It's no secret. There's pictures of him with Chili and Kris Kelly. There's a couple pictures of them together and everything like that. Kris Kelly was a ladies' man, so salute to him. He had all the baddies, man. That's what's up, man. Salute to my mans. But yeah, after The Bomb, they were just chilling. They had pop-ups and events and, you know what I'm saying, seminars and conferences here and there. They were growing into their faces. They looked older. You can tell that they were definitely, you know, still growing as people. I'm gonna leave it at that. You can just tell that they were just experimenting with everything in life at that time. Jermaine Dupri and Kris Kelly would bump heads, according to Jermaine Dupri's book, around that time. What do you expect? He's a teenager. He's 15, 16 years old. He's trying to experience life, you know what I mean? He's not the 12, 11-year-old kid. So that's within reason. So, you know, they're gonna bump heads, but it's nothing personal. I mean, it's just people grow up. So yeah, around that time in '95, that's when he cut his hair. I'm gonna say '95 he cut his hair because when Give It To You came out, he came out the Lexus with baldy. I mean, so I'm saying, so he cut his hair then. They looked definitely much older, and that's when they recorded the smooth, classic final album under So So Def, Young, Rich, and Dangerous, which dropped January 1996. Tonight's the Night, the remix with Redman's Crazy, Live and Die for Hip Hop, Young, Rich, and Dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Mackin' Ain't Easy. Those are my 4 favorite songs on the album. Album went platinum. The video for Tonight's the Night and Live and Die for Hip Hop is online. Those are the last 2 videos that they did. They did shows here and there. They did Soul Train and the BET event as well. I forgot what the name was the show, but they did they performed Live and Die for Hip Hop on BET. And a lot of people saying during this time Daddy Mac wasn't interested in rhyming because if you look, well, I can see what they're saying, because between Totally Crossed Out, he was moving and grooving. Then towards Young, Rich, and Dangerous, it seemed like he didn't care, but according to an interview that he did, there was never a time where he didn't want to stop making music. So maybe the cameras caught him at a bad time, because I understand when people are saying that he didn't look interested. People get tired, I guess, or he just wasn't feeling good. But it is what it is. They did things here and there. Chris Kelly has a song with my man Ludacris on DJ Nabs' album, which is on YouTube. They did the XXL cover with Everybody in Harlem. They're on the right-hand side above Ice-T. They had a fourth album, which was released on Joe the Butcher's record label, Judgment Records. It's online to check it out. They actually did a reunion show, I heard, in 2001 as well. During the time, Chris Kelly went to college. He started his own record label as a CEO. He had artists as well. There's interviews of him with the artists. He had mixtapes on Dat Piff, Chris Smith. He has a clothing line, Urban Muse. He also did the music as well, did his own thing. He was at open mics. He has a couple interviews online too. They are super hard to find, yo. Like, there's links to the interview, but there's no audio. But he did do interviews around this time. Then they came back together in 2013 for the final So So Def show. That show was fire. It's online as well. They were gonna do a So So Def tour too. Kris Kross was gonna be one of the acts, and they were gonna plan on releasing new music and get back together. That'd been crazy, but ultimately Chris Kelly transitioned in May in 2013. So yeah, the legacy lives on. There's still hundreds of comments asking people for a visual biography, like a movie on them. If there's any new music, people are still holding them on high regards as innovators and pioneers for the Atlanta hip-hop scene, as well for the youth. They inspire a lot of Atlanta artists. You know the amount of Atlanta artists who are inspired by Kris Kross, that we listen to, that went to school with them, that know them. A lot of people in the Atlanta area who are artists know about Kris Kross and knew them personally. Actually, I say about 80% of them do. You'll be surprised as well. The video will be too long for me to list, but practically everybody knew about them or knew them. But yeah, salute to Kris Kross, the innovators, influential pioneers of hip-hop for the city of Atlanta, as well as for the youth hip-hop. Their legacy is cemented. There'll never be a duo to do what they have done in hip-hop at all. And you know what I'm saying? Keep on inspiring, keep on sharing, liking, and raising awareness for the group, man. They definitely did their thing. I go by Jane88. Salute to Carly Bennett for editing the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
As real as this platinum on